Breaking news tonight, choir boy Diddy, yes, that's right, his lawyer actually described him as, his words, an actual choir boy that listens to one sermon every week behind bars. Try a sermon every day and twice on Sundays. I want bail. Yes, I told you. He is going to try and get bail again. And what is his lame excuse this time? That it's the women's fault, the victim's fault. You remember Cassie Ventura getting dragged up and down the hotel hallway? He says the women's provoked him to violence. It's their fault. What, should they be behind bars and the choir boy walks free? OHELLNO, Diddy. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Diddy behind bars, the Diddy jail watch. As Sean Combs heads for sentencing, Sean Combs trying every trick in the book to walk free. How long will Diddy stay behind bars? Does it never end with Sean Combs? Listen, Judge, we've been warned by, Eminem, you name it. Even Combs goes on the late night talk shows talking about locking women in for sex. Appeal bond over my cold, dead body. Nobody gets an appeal bond. What is an appeal bond? It's after you're convicted, after a jury says, you did it, now go to jail. You say you want to walk free until the appellate court rules on your complaints. He could appeal that all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, for Pete's sake. What do we know? We know Sean Combs is making another bid at bail. And this isn't just bond. This is an appeal bond. Joining me an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, and this as victims out there quaking in their boots. The judge just might let him go. Straight out to Tisa Tells joining us. Investigator and star of Tisa Tells on YouTube. Tisa, again?
Listen, Diddy is literally living up to his name. Can't stop, won't stop. But this last one is almost laughable. Okay, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. We haven't even been a month since the jury let him off on the more serious charges. The judge was clear. You are a violent criminal. I don't care if it's domestic violence. I see through your act. Not only are you violent, but you're dangerous. And it will come out of the blue. We cannot predict this. On top of that, when we found you, you were ready. You had a roving freak-off party ready, complete with the stripper heels, the Tucci, some pills on the side because he likes to wash his Tucci down with pills, and a woman in his hotel room. All that was missing was the sex worker.
That's right. Tisa Tells, the night Sean Combs arrested, and he knows it's coming. He knows he's going to be taken in. He plans a freak off that night. That said, to Rob Shooter joining us, PR guru that actually worked for Combs for a really long time, star of Naughty But Nice podcast. He's at robshooter.substack.com. Rob Shooter, what is wrong with this guy? What did he not get the first time? What is this, his third, fourth attempt at bond, and the judge keeps saying the same thing over and over and over?
Yeah, this is a guy that does not accept the answer no. That is just not in his vocabulary. He will not accept it. He's never accepted it throughout his career. And I think after this really disturbing verdict, he now feels empowered. He's not focusing on the crimes he has been convicted of. He is focusing on the crimes that he has not been found guilty of, and that has empowered him. He feels like a winner at the moment. His fans feel like he is a winner, and so he's going to fight this, and if he loses, he's going to fight it again until he gets the result he wants.
You know, the judge in this case indicated he was not at all swayed by Sean Combs' lawyers, even going back to, wait for it, Agnafello, calling Sean Combs a choir boy. His words, My client's an actual choir boy. He watches online sermons every week. That's total BS. Did he ever darken the door of a church, a synagogue, a mosque, and anything during the time you worked for him? Did he make charitable contributions? Did he try to help anybody but himself?
He helped himself, Nancy. It was always about him. If Diddy was going to turn up at a charity, at an event, at a church, at a religious organization, it was always about him. But I think here the point we're missing is his lawyers have been really successful. I thought he was going to go to jail for a really long time. I was wrong. He practically got off this. And so they believe in themselves. They believe in them.
Hold on, Shooter. Maybe I've got all of my facts wrong, but where is Sean Combs right now?
He's in jail, Nancy Grace. He is in jail.
Oh, okay. So he didn't get off. And that's a very poor choice of words, by the way. So he didn't get off. He's behind bars. Is he not, Rob Shooter?
You are right, Nancy Grace. He is behind bars, but in his mind, he is already out. He's planning his comeback. He thinks he beat the system. And I think a lot of people, including me, I feel like he beat the system here. He is in jail. He could be away for 5-10 years. You're absolutely right. But this is not what I think we all wanted the outcome to be. I thought he'd be in jail for the rest of his life. Didn't happen.
Well, what do you have to say about this? That part of his claim that he deserves an appeal bond, which is unheard of. Nobody gets an appeal bond after they've already been convicted by a jury. Part of his claim is the women's. It's their fault. They provoked me to violence. Did you not see the Cassie Ventura video? Did you not see the pictures of the bruises all over her body?
It's great.
It's their fault? Are you not hearing this?
Nancy, it's worked for him. He did this during the trial. He blamed Cassie. He claimed that she wanted this somehow. He claimed she enjoyed the sex. She was a willing participant. And a jury, Nancy, maybe not you, maybe not me, but a jury decided he was right. And so he at the minute feels empowered. He feels bolder than ever. And an empowered Diddy is a dangerous...
You don't see that fat lip right there? You know what? You just keep talking about how he feels. Shooter, I don't care how he feels. And he is not an actual choir boy. Those were the words of the defense attorney Agnefello to Lynn Shaw joining me. Apparently, I can't talk any sense into Rob Shooter. He's had one too many Diddy doses tonight. Lynn Shaw joining me, founder, director, Lynn's Warriors, committed to ending sex trafficking. And you can hear her on YouTube, host of Lynn's Warriors. Lynn, the claim. The women made me do it. Do you remember the comedian Flip Wilson? His catchline was, "The devil made me do it," and he became a millionaire with that phrase. That's what Sean Combs is doing. The women's provoked me. It's the women's fault. What?
Okay. Nancy, let's go back a little bit. This dirty Diddy playbook, okay? Blaming the women, blaming the victims. This is as old as time. We see it constantly in court. We see it constantly in our environment we work with. With the warriors, with victims and survivors. But I want to remind everybody, the dirty Diddy world, the music, the rap, they disregard women and girls. They think of them as objects. I dare say garbage. So we have to go into, I'm thinking constantly about that jury, because I agree with Rob. We had to put out all kinds of statements and saying we really thought this would be a sex trafficking charge. Yes, he's in jail. Yes, he'll probably serve 2 to 3 years, some kind of light sentence. But in our book, Sean Combs is a sex trafficker, a pimp, a predator, choir boy. So they can flap their lips all they want, but they did succeed somewhat because that jury did not give him all of these charges. And it's very, very distasteful for all the victims and survivors.
Does anybody see Cassie Ventura's fat lip?
Well, the jury did not see the fat lip. The jury
is going in front of a judge claiming the women, the victims in this case, provoked him to violence. It's their fault. Listen,
Sean Combs' team argues the rap mogul should not be behind bars for his swinger lifestyle and says Combs does not pose a danger to anyone should he be released. Attorneys write that Combs enrolled in a domestic violence program and participated in it until his arrest, also arguing that the latest violent episode with Jane in June 2024 was provoked by Jane's own violence towards him.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Are you worried about harmful cooking oils? I am. I cook for my family nearly every night of the week, and I'm afraid they may not be healthy. Or do you not like the aftertaste? Solution: Farm Fresh olive oil. Farm Fresh olive oil is like a garden in a bottle, and it adds amazing flavor to your meals. Other olive oils do not compare. Taste for yourself with a free $39 bottle direct from an award-winning specialty farm. You pay $1, just $1 for shipping, and your $39 bottle is free from T.J. Robinson, known worldwide as the olive oil hunter. Try your first bottle free, no obligation, no commitment. For a free $39 bottle, go to getfreshnancy.com. 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 To Dr. Cheryl Errett, joining us, renowned clinical forensic psychologist specializing in trauma recovery. Dr. Cheryl, this is classic. In every case I ever had, which by the time I got it was a domestic violence felony, in every case, in prior beatings and tortures, the defendant, typically a man, blamed the woman. It's always her fault. She made me do it. And if the judge falls for this BS, I'm going to do a backflip on the courthouse steps.
Yes. What they teach in courses like the one he's taking supposedly now in domestic violence courses is she can make him angry, but she cannot make him hit. She is never responsible for his violence. And all of domestic violence is not created equally. One of the things that we've seen here is that he's gone for the throat. He has committed choking. We've seen all sorts of horrific things he's done. But choking victims are more than 750 times more likely to be killed by the offender within the next year than any other type of violence. Stalking and choking are both very high lethality types of violence and domestic violence, as I'm sure you know. And somebody who's done the things that we can see on this video is incredibly dangerous and has been incredibly dangerous to the people who testified against him. He's a danger.
And Rob Shooter, another issue, how many times when you worked for Sean Combs did you see him try unsuccessfully, and then be successful? Get what he wanted. What kind of message is it going to send if Judge Subramaniam says over and over and over, no bond, no bond, no bond, you're a danger, you've been contacting witnesses, you've been threatening victims behind bars, and then suddenly goes, yeah, you're right, you're walking free. It's happened before with Sean Combs. He always seems to get what he wants, regardless of the cost to other people.
Absolutely. It's the story of his life. If he can't get through the front door, he'll go through the window. If he can't get through the window, he'll come down the chimney. He's used to getting his own way. He said something to me once that really stuck with me. And at the time, it was sort of like an inspiring quote that I've used in my career. But now, knowing what we know about him, it's terrifying. He used to tell me that the road to success is paved with failure. Let me say that again. The road to success, the road to getting what he thinks is success is what he wants, is paved with failure. He doesn't mind failure. He gets back up. He tries again. And that's what he's doing.
The road to success is paved with failure. You know what? Stop. Let's focus on the message that this would send if the judge allows Sean Combs to walk free on an appeal bond. Hold on, I'm going to perform an experiment with Philip Dubé. An experiment. Philip Dubé Is it physically possible for you to answer in one word, either yes or no? Philip Dubé is actually a renowned defense attorney, former LA County public defender, has tried a ton of cases. Dubé, isn't it true that it's very, very rare for a convicted felon to get an appeal bond?
Yes.
Okay, I can't believe it. Somebody bring me the smelling salts right now. He only did that to torture me because I said he
No.
couldn't do it, and he did it just to get back at me. Explain why, Dubé.
No, they're presumptively going to prison because of the sentencing guidelines. A jury found them guilty. I respectfully disagree with the court because there are exceptions. I think the only thing that this jury verdict sends a message about is that he cornered the market on bulk buy body oil. Seriously, remember, he beat the top charges, which necessarily means they could not prove that he committed any of the predicates. No arson, no kidnap, what else? No trafficking, no bribery, no forced labor, no drug
Can you
distribution,
put up
all
Dubé,
of that.
please?
So what does
So
that
you
mean? It
agree with
means
the
that he
jury,
has
yet you disagree with the jury. You want it both ways. You want your cake, you want to eat it too. Guess what? The cake's all gone because you ate it. You can't have, yeah, they were right when they let him off of 3 counts, but they were wrong when they convicted him of 2 counts. So pick, Dubé.
no, what I'm saying is whether or not he gets out on bond is not a jury issue at this point. It's really an issue for the court. The jury doesn't get to
Yeah,
make
that's
that
not what it
call.
sounded like you were saying. What's the
No,
likelihood? What's the Vegas odds that he's going to walk
zero,
on an appeal bond? Yeah, that's what
zero.
I think too. And back to you, Shooter.
Okay.
If you can, get the antidote to your Diddy dose you actually shot up this morning, you had to. What message will it send if the judge goes along with this?
It sends 2 different types of messages to 2 different types of people, to the rest of us, to the public, to victims out there. It's a terrible, terrible message. To Diddy, it is a glorious message. It will prove to him what he thinks, which is he is above the law, that he is special, that he is a wizard. He has gotten away with a lot, Nancy. I would not put this past him.
Think about it. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? It's not just a dream. That would equal money in your pocket and much needed financial breathing room. If you're interested, go to American Financing now. With rising costs, groceries, gas, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed, and many people are now relying on credit cards, but there is a better solution. American Financing can help you use your home equity to pay off debt and save. They're salary-based mortgage consultants helping homeowners save an average of $800 a month. Add it up. That's like getting a $10,000 raise. Call toll-free 866-888-0344 or go to americanfinancing.net/Nancy. That's 866-888-0344.
People are taking bets to see how long Sean Diddy Combs is going to stay behind bars.
How long Diddy will stay behind bars? What kind of sentencing will he get? A lot of attorneys were mind blown by the fact that Diddy was staying behind bars based on prostitution charges or a prostitution conviction alone.
Diddy might stay in there for 5 to 10 years.
The Mann Act. Transporting people across state lines to perform illegal acts. While Sean Combs insists he's the only one that's ever been prosecuted for that, that is far from true. But I want to find out, what are the terms that he is proposing to the judge? For those of you just joining us, that's right, Sean Combs at it again, going back to the well, trying to get a long, cold drink of water, asking for bond. Guess what? Diddy doesn't like being behind bars. What do we know? Tisa Tells joining us. He is the star of Tisa Tells on YouTube, investigative reporter. Tisa, what are the terms of the bond that he is proposing?
The terms of the bar are actually mirror like the first terms that got rejected. He's saying, I'll give you $50 million. I'll give 3 verified references to make sure. I'm sure those 3 references are probably his son. He's saying that he's going to have in-house security. He's going to wear ankle monitoring, and he only wants permission to travel from New York to Miami. The only thing is, all the havoc you wreaked was to majority in New York and Miami, with a little California sprinkled on the side. People are saying that he's offering up the same thing because, again, like Rob said, he thinks he's a magician. A magician. But the funniest thing you would say is the fact that he is still 100% pushing. He is the victim, and he somehow thinks that if he can turn this all around, he will be out. They're planning some type of August festivity in Star Island, and he is literally also going around telling people that were reporting on him that he doesn't hold any hostile feelings toward them, and that he's ready to actually move forward. Again, when you add that into the fact that he just entered this program on 2 weeks ago, and he is now trying to spin that he is so repentant and not a danger. When you add in the fact that on top of that bail bond at a PR, which I think is an empty promise, he's also floating unofficially that he's going to open up some type of shelter for battered women and children. We'll see if that ever comes about. It looks like he is playing in the court space. It looks like it's a mockery. And it looks like he is laughing in victims' faces. The jury got it wrong, Nancy. I 100% believe that. But Judge Aaron held the line and the good fight. And again, domestic violence is still violent. You are violent. You are unpredictable. Sounds like a predator to me. So thank goodness that the legal odds are in favor of him actually staying behind bars.
You know, you mentioned that he was drumming up at least 3 reference letters, and I found out who the references are. Let's see. First choice is Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Judas Iscariot. Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Judas Iscariot. And if those won't work, he's going for Rex Heuermann, Scott Peterson, and Jodi Arias. So we'll see what sway that has on the judge. Lucifer, Beelzebub, Judas Iscariot. Second choices, Rex Heuermann, Scott Peterson, and Jodi Arias.
They want to learn from the master. There's a lot of things Diddy can teach them.
What are the terms of the bond request? As Tisa Tales just pointed out, they're basically the terms that he put up last time when he offered his $48 million Miami home, his mother's $2 million Miami home. I wonder how she feels about that. He pledges to limit travel to New York, New Jersey, and Florida, and that would be so close to Teterboro private airstrip. Multiple private airstrips in Florida. Hey, maybe he'll use John Travolta's private jet strip to leave the country. That he will keep his private jet parked in LA. Okay, that's the point of a jet, to fly it wherever you want to. Wear a GPS tracking device. He goes on and on and on, and Agnefello vows, quote, "We're going to get Mr. Combs out of jail." Now, speaking of the $48 million mansion that he's going to hole up in, what do we know about that? Robert Crispin?
The neighbors, they're really happy that there's no more attention. There's no more late parties, 3-4 day benders, the drugs. In that white gate behind me, that's where the feds went in with their search warrant. That's where the drugs came out. That's where the electronic evidence came out. That's where everything started to unfold for Diddy before he got indicted.
Straight out to Rob Shooter. Rob Shooter, former PR guru to Sean Combs, who describes Combs demanding cheesecake at 3 o'clock in the morning and getting it, ordering a fleet of the media to reshoot the shot of him arriving for his private jet flight because he didn't like the angle. And guess what? They did it, demanding a different seat at high-style restaurants because it wasn't appropriate for him to be seen near the kitchen, the door, or the bathroom, and blah, blah, blah. Rob Shooter, the first thing Sean Combs is going to do is A, throw a party, probably a freak-off in that Miami mansion, and then have his private jet show up, clip off that ankle monitor, and be gone to join Kanye in Paris, where they don't care. They even have Roman Polanski who 14-year-old girl in a hot tub after giving her drugs and alcohol. They don't care. This would be another feather in their cap to have Sean Combs there along with Roman Polanski and Kanye. Yeah, that's where he would be. Heartbeat.
There's this really concerning underbelly within the celebrity world, and I think Kanye, Roman Polanski are really good examples of this, Nancy. Diddy's career is not over. It is not. He might actually come back and be bigger than ever. We saw those fans outside the courthouse. They are passionate about Diddy in a way that they've not been this passionate about him in maybe a decade. He was a little over. He wasn't selling records anymore. His clothing company had pretty much gone bust. He was basically just selling vodka. Now, in a really ugly, ugly twist that should make any decent person really angry, he is more relevant. We're talking about him more than ever. And let me say, the conversation bubbling up today about bail, he will be enjoying this. He's probably been missing us for a couple of weeks. We've not been talking about him. He's not been in the papers. Once again, Diddy has made himself the topic of conversation.
You know what, Rob Shooter? Between Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein, and Diddy, I'm hiding under the bed and getting an unlisted number. I don't want my car bombed, my minivan, like Kid Cudi's was. You know what? As much as I don't like it, I'm afraid that what you say contains a tiny grain of truth. If this is any measure, watch Armand Wiggins celebrating half naked with a champagne shower outside the courthouse after the verdict. From Armand Wiggins' Instagram. Hello, Nancy Grace here. To all of you homeowners, when's the last time you checked on your home title? If the answer is never, well, this is for you. Scammers steal home titles. Your equity is the target. Criminals forge your signature, and just like that, your home title is transferred out of your name. And that is why we partnered with Home Title Lock. So you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use our promo code Nancy at HometitleLock.com for a free title history report, plus a free trial of the $1 Million Triple Lock protection. That includes 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Nancy.
It's time for a Diddy makeover. His lawyers aiming to show he is no longer a, quote, bad boy for life. Good luck.
It was the defense's own words that their client was a violent man.
Violence, public condemnation. He beat Jane viciously.
I mean, he's been dressed, in your words, as a Harvard undergrad for the duration of the trial. They are really trying to make him look like a clean-cut, humble family man. But they are fighting back decades of a bad boy legacy.
No. N-O. Sean Combs going back to the well, asking for bond again with essentially the same conditions he's argued before. Putting up his $50 million mansion, putting up his mother's $2 million mansion, promising not to travel outside the country, and wearing an ankle monitor. Okay. No. This is what is called an appeal bond, and it is extremely rare. I can't even think of an appeal bond that has ever happened. But now he is focused on, quote, I hope you're sitting down, reflection, accountability, and growth. Listen.
Sources close to Combs say he recognizes he cannot return to his life as it was before the trial and claim the mogul is committed to doing the work to become a better man. His legal team says Combs is focused on reflection, accountability, and growth, and that Combs is not seeking vindication, instead taking the opportunity to right the wrongs, one step at a time. PR experts predict a tell-all interview will come in due time, and Combs will likely be making some charitable donations in the near future in an attempt to garner public goodwill.
Isn't it true? Straight out to Sydney Sumner joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter, that he is now, quote, stuck in society's septic tank. He has been called notorious PIG and more. So explain to me, what is he doing behind bars to rehab his image to convince the judge to let him walk free on bond?
Well, apparently, Sean Combs has signed up for a number of programs behind bars, including drug rehab, a domestic violence class, and is even taking mental health therapy behind bars to somehow try to prove to the judge that he's all of a sudden become a much better person, completely committed to not battering women, abusing drugs anymore. He's trying to show that he has turned his life around and is committed to moving forward with humility, acknowledgement of the charges against him, but he wants to get back to his life.
Okay, wait a minute. I don't know if you heard what you just said, Sydney Sumner, but you're saying that Combs is saying, I'm sorry, I acknowledge I was convicted, but I want my free life outside of jail. So how can you acknowledge that you were convicted on 2 felonies, but think you can walk free? That is what he is saying. To Dr. Dwayne Hendricks joining me, former warden, MDC Brooklyn, so much more. He is the founder of the New Daylight Foundation and author of Who Are You? See It, Say It, Seize It. I'm going to get to you in just a moment, Dr. Hendricks, about Sean Combs' threats to victims and witnesses from behind bars that we know of, and his most recent text from behind bars, eyeballs watching you, and then he deleted it. I got to figure out, why does he have access to social media anyway? But Dr. Hendricks, could you explain to me how many, the percentage of inmates that, quote, find God behind bars and think that that somehow is going to get them out of jail?
Well, I mean, it's possible. And for the most part, anyone who has found religion or went into depths of their religion to find themselves and create a new person, it takes years. It don't take months for that. And it's a slap in the face that his attorneys are calling or saying that it's the victim's fault. They provoked him into violence. I mean, how can you take ownership for your actions while at the same time blaming the victims in this case? Well, if his legal team or if Sean Combs and his family is listening, to take ownership, the O and own is obligate. You have to obligate yourself to the behavior. The W and own is withdraw. You have to withdraw from the actions. And he hasn't shown that yet. And the N and own is navigate. He has to navigate himself to a different outcome. And I'm really upset with these articles that are out. I mean, on one end, you're saying you're taking classes, you're watching sermons, and you're doing all this stuff. But at the same time, your lawyers are trying to get you out on bail on the same package they've used several times already. And now he's talking about it's the victim's fault. This is a bunch of crap. He needs to sit back, take real responsibility for his actions, and wait for his sentencing, and hope that he doesn't get the full 10 years for each one of these counts.
Philip Dubé joining me, veteran trial lawyer, joining us out of the LA jurisdiction. Look, Dubé, don't get me wrong. I'm all about the Lord providing mercy and forgiveness and grace, but the Lord can do that behind bars, right? He doesn't need to be in his $50 million mansion throwing free coughs to get mercy and grace from heaven, does he?
The federal pen is not a temple of justice. That's not what it is. Listen, I think he has finally come to the realization that the feds ain't playing. He has been locked up long enough to really get a good whiff of what it means to be behind bars. He can be the comeback kid because this has really scared him straight. I sincerely doubt that if you grant the man bond, that he is going to reoffend, disobey court orders, or not return to court. I say give the guy a break. The only problem with giving him that break is that he stops earning credit in the event that the judge actually gives him prison time. So to me, what this court is really sort of telegraphing to him is that he is going to get time behind bars. He's not going to interrupt the accrual of confinement credit, and off he'll go to do his prison sentence. And I predict 3 to 5 years.
He says he wants a second chance. Didn't he already have a second chance? Remember this?
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted.
But yet, Lynn Shaw, he is now telling the judge the women provoked him to violence. How is that taking responsibility? How is trying to get out of punishment taking responsibility?
I'm completely sick hearing all of this, seeing him even talk. Let's play that Cassie video over and over again on a loop. Let me tell you something. He is taking no responsibility for anything. He's fake, he's phony, he's a predator, he's a pimp, he is a sex trafficker. Let us use this Dirty Diddy case. This is my dream, Nancy, that we use this case as a point of education in society. Because remember the jury, they did not convict him for sex trafficking. I think he's a sex trafficker. But anyway, I'm not a lawyer. I wasn't on the jury. But let us use this to teach society what is exactly sex trafficking. It has a whole different meaning. Let us teach the justice system. We have new definitions of sex trafficking victims, trauma bonding. That is my hope, that we can use this case and that we can reform society about victims. I'm going to keep saying it. That's what our focus should be on. He thinks he is seeking redemption. No way. And the judge is smart enough. I believe he's not going to give him anything and let him out anywhere.
Speaking of second chances, you saw the apology video. It was after that video following the Cassie Ventura beatdown, not the beatdown itself, but the release of the video from the Intercontinental Hotel. That's when he apologized, not immediately after that vicious beating. Now, after releasing the video, he goes on to beat and torture and intimidate other victims up until the night he's going to get arrested, planning another freak-off. Another freak-off. The feds find the freak-off indicia in his hotel room. Let's take a look at this lying technical legal term.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. If you're on the go, catch us on your favorite podcast app where you can get all of our content where we, in our own way, seek justice.
He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
That's from our friends at Fox News. Trump, don't do it. Don't do it. You're already knee deep. Let me say elbow deep in alligators with the whole Epstein drama, pardoning a convicted felon that was charged with sex trafficking in the middle of the Epstein debacle will not help anything. I don't want to hear any more talk about a pardon for Sean Combs. This, as we learn, Sean Combs' victims in fear that the judge may go along with this bond request. Straight out to Tisa Tales joining us. You can find her at Tisa Tales on YouTube. What about it, Tisa Tales?
The victims are not just scared, they have moved into being terrified. They are taking evasive actions. My sources are telling me that they are literally acting like a depraved mob boss is back on the street. And the one thing the victims keep repeating to me that I find the most heartbreaking is anybody besides you, Nancy, is anybody besides you actually going to speak truth to power? This man has been in a program to rehab himself, not just for domestic violence, not just for dating violence, but for sexual assault. That is what that program is for. It covers all three things. He has been in that program for 2 weeks. He was in a getting professional help and in drug rehab when he was busted with what looked like half of the pharmacy department at CVS. It is laughable that these narratives are being able to be set forth, and the victims feel so angry about it. So angry that, listen, he might be persuasive, he might be a liar, but it is up to us to hold the line and point out this man is lying. It is impossible. What domestic violence, like one victim said to me, what domestic abuser or rapist do you know within 2 months of therapy? That's not even enough for you to figure out to quit smoking or to put the last Twinkie down and just go to bed and eat a healthy diet. The fact that we are acting like this man is changed all because he said so. And his words over and over point to lies. And at this point, the victims are scared, looking around saying, does anybody see reality? Is anybody going to protect us?
Okay, Tisa Tells, you're giving me an eerie flashback because that's what Cassie Ventura said as she was being beaten by Sean Combs, and he was standing over her with a whiskey glass over his head to throw at her face. And she turned and looked at all of his minions and said, is nobody seeing this? And that's my question right now to the judge and to President Trump. Is nobody seeing what happened in the courtroom? You cannot give Sean Combs an appeal bond or a pardon. You cannot. I swear the courthouse will crumble down around me if I ever quit screaming. You are not getting an appeal bond. The victims and witnesses in fear. Listen.
Now that Sean Combs has been acquitted of the most serious charges against him and is arguing for pre-sentencing release, many of those who spoke out against him fear retaliation. Danity Kane singers Dee Woods and Dawn Richard cite Combs' penchant for making threats as fuel for their concern, Woods going so far as to stay in a hotel instead of her home. Diddy's former chef, Jordan Atkinson, who was beaten at least once according to a former assistant, posted an anxious video expressing fear for her safety if Combs were to be released. Sheree Hayes, hired to have sex with Cassie on several occasions, says he's seen no indication that harm will come to him, but is not free of concern.
When you don't know a horse, look at his track record. Don't you recall what happened before the trial from behind bars? Listen.
Sean Combs isn't just monitoring social media from behind bars. According to federal prosecutors, Diddy is relentlessly attempting to blackmail potential witnesses. The feds say Combs has been using other MDC inmates' phone access codes to make surreptitious calls. Combs then uses his sons to loop in a third party or directly contacts unauthorized individuals. While the contents of the calls have been redacted in court documents, prosecutors say the conversations clearly outline Combs' intent to silence witnesses.
To the point, one of the alleged victims in the indictment was a no-show at court. She would not testify. Gee, I wonder why. Sydney Sumner joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter, and in the last days leading up to tonight and this bond request, Sean Combs actually posts from behind bars with eyes, I'm watching you, and then deletes it. Explain.
Yeah, it's unclear if Sean Combs himself made that tweet, but Friday night, these two eye emojis are posted to his X account, and it's very quickly deleted. So we know previously that Combs' children have access to his social media, and I'm sure he has at least 10 people working on his social media presence before he was arrested. So it's unclear if this was just made in complete error, or is this maybe a suggestion that Combs has access to a contraband cell phone?
Stop, please, Sydney. My ears are bleeding. What are you saying? For you, of all people, who have studied this case so carefully, to suggest that Sean Combs would release a text or an emoji or a post on accident? No. Rob Shooter, everything he does is choreographed. He sent out or arranged to be sent out, I'm watching you. It happened. That was no You know what? Get rid of her mic. Cut Sydney Sumner's mic. She can no longer speak. You're in Nancy land now, Sydney. What about it, Shooter?
Oh, I don't want to end up in Nancy land. I feel a little bit nervous here, but let me say you are right. Nothing he does is by accident. He's a master manipulator. He's a master marketer. And so this is no accident here. To think it is just playing into a silly, silly narrative. He's watching. He's going to remember stuff. He is somebody who doesn't forget. He holds a grudge for a very long time. We saw what he allegedly did to Kid Cudi during the trial. He wants vengeance, and this narrative that he is out there forgiving people, seeing the light, turning the page, nonsense. Diddy is Diddy, and let me predict, he's going to be even more Diddy now that he thinks he got away with it.
Are you saying Diddy's going to get Diddyfied? Okay, I'll take that with a box of salt. Let's talk about how in the hay Dr. Dwayne Hendricks. You're on the hot seat now, Hendricks. Former warden, MDC Brooklyn, also warden, Sheridan, Oregon, senior warden, U.S. Department of Justice, author of Who Are You? See It, Say It, Sees It. How in the hay is Sean Combs able to intimidate, threaten, possibly bribe witnesses not to testify, not to show up, to shut the hay up, and then get on social media and send a I'm watching you emoji?
Well, it happens all the time, and typically inmates use their family, friends, associates, and minions to
What did
do
you
that.
just say? The reason he did it is because it happens all the time. I'm saying, how is he allowed to do this? You go, oh, it happens all the time. That
He's
is
not
not
allowed.
a reason.
He's
Just
not
because
allowed.
it is done
He's not-
doesn't mean it should be done.
He's not allowed to do it from a cell, obviously, because he shouldn't have a cell phone. But typically, inmates will email their family members and they'll say, hey, can you post this for me? Can you send this message out for me? Whether it's their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, or whatever. So that's typically how that happens. So it's probably one of his family members who has control over his social media is doing these posts. And it would take the staff about 10 minutes to figure out,
Did you not just
did he
hear
ask them
Rob
to do it?
Shooter? He knows Combs, Dr. Hendricks. This is not some rogue post by a family member. If a family member did it, it was at Combs's direction. Did you not just hear Shooter? He practically lived with the guy.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying, Nancy. He probably it would take the staff 5 minutes to figure out if there was some communication from him via email or via the phone. All those phone calls are monitored, and it would take 5 seconds to figure that out. If he did ask them to go ahead and post and delete those eye emojis. And it happens all the time.
You're giving me a horrible flashback. I don't guess you saw the shirtless selfie that was posted from behind bars by Alex Murdaugh, the double. Oh, good. Why do I have to see this? Take that down and me. I don't want to see that. I just mentioned it. Does that mean you have to put it up for the world to see and burn my corneas again? The entitlement, Philip Dubé, of Sean Combs posting from behind bars that I'm watching you emoji. Really? I hope he's watching right now.
Yeah, but what if, hypothetically, a family member had access to his social media and put that up, not knowing what type of incriminating effect it could have? And let's just pretend that he really did order that. He was at the helm of that, asked a child or somebody who works under him to post that. Do you really believe, hypothetically, that if Cassie or Jane went into court seeking an immediate TRO, that a judge would find irreparable harm and issue the TRO based on that? No way. Right now, there is
I didn't ask you
absolutely
that. I
no
asked you about
reason.
his sense of entitlement, and you're just spinning it out
No,
to a TRO. No, the victims and witnesses are hiding. They've all gone to ground right now because they're afraid the judge might just grant bond. Entitlement, Dr. Cheryl Errett, entitlement. How dare he do it himself or direct somebody to do it? Was nobody listening to Rob Sheeter? I was. Nothing happens by chance with Sean Combs. He sent out the I'm watching you emoji, or had it sent out, Dr. Cheryl.
That's exactly right. This is absolutely consistent with power and control tactics, intimidation, threats, not wanting to be told no, reminding people that there are other people watching them. All of these things are instrumental in controlling other people's behavior to try to get what he wants. And I agree. I don't think there's any way that this was by accident.
Rob Sheeter, is nobody listening to you? You might as well hang your head out of the cab on 3rd Avenue and scream it. Did
Yeah,
nobody
Nancy,
see
I'm
Kid Cudi's
shocked.
car bombed? Did nobody see the testimony of the assistant who took the fifth and got immunity, who jumped in the car with Sean Combs to go shoot, allegedly, a rival at the diner? It goes on and on and on. And now he's claiming the women made him beat them. And he's sending out, I watching you. That was no accident.
No, no, no. Before he went to jail, Nancy, somebody very senior who worked with Diddy, I don't think they do anymore, but somebody very senior called me, texted me to let me know that he was watching me. And so this is a guy who is aware of what's going on. He holds a grudge, Nancy, and people should be concerned. I don't think I'm scared, but I am definitely keeping one extra eye open. If he gets out, when he gets out, I think a lot of people should be worried. This is a very dangerous man. Did we
Are
not
you
see?
talking about me? What do you mean
I
by a
am, Nancy.
lot of people should be
I
scared?
think I think people that have talked out, people that have been brave enough like you, Nancy Grace, to literally talk about this day after day, to expose it, I think we should be concerned.
So what, should I go hide in my super secret Leia? Hide from Diddy? Okay, Rob Sheeter, all the people claiming that the I'm watching you posting by Sean Combs was an accident. You hear Philip Dubé spinning it out, and my own Sydney Sumner saying maybe it was an accident. It was no accident. What would happen if this guy walks free on bond? How could the judge sit down in the law library where they all go to eat with the other judges at lunchtime? How could he look them in the eye, Shooter, and say, yeah, I gave him an appeal bond?
Yeah, it's completely a parallel universe to the reality that I think most of us are living in here. It's really concerning. He's a dangerous person. We've seen the video, we've heard the testimony. The jury decided that he wasn't guilty of the really serious charges. However, nobody could argue that this is a good man, that this is a kind man, that this is a man you can trust. He's dangerous and he's powerful, and that combination makes a lot of people very, very nervous. Diddy also holds a grudge. I know the man. This is somebody who does not let bygones be bygones. He's got a list, I'm sure, of people who are gonna be someone that should be concerned. Nancy, this guy is not gonna stop. I predict, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe in a few years, he'll be back on trial. He won't change. He's going to continue the behavior until he is forced to stop.
Bets through the roof. How long will Diddy stay behind bars?
My bet is it's not how long Diddy is going to do time. It's how long he's going to stay out of jail. It's only a matter of time before Diddy is his own undoing. A leopard does not change their stripes. And right now, Diddy is wearing a full fur coat.
I don't know. What will the judge do on yet another bond attempt? Will the judge agree with the gaming platform Roblox? What? Listen.
In California, parents are suing the popular online gaming platform Roblox, alleging users of all ages can access Diddy freak-off themed games. The now removed games had names like Diddy Survival, Freaky Diddy Simulator, Midnight at Diddy's Party, and Nice Try Diddy, featuring characters bearing the musician's face. The 105-page filing said Roblox's games trivialize and gamify serious criminal conduct.
To my colleague, Lynn Shaw, do you ever just feel like crying? Or going cray and just tearing up the courtroom? Did you hear that? Parents suing the gaming platform Roblox for trivializing freak-offs. They have no idea what victims live through, Lynn Shaw.
Yeah. And Nancy, I can never cry or break down in public or show any of that because somebody has to do this work. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're all doing it here on the panel. I have to say, we have to be the strong ones for those that are vulnerable and have no voices. We do a lot of work behind the scenes at the Warriors with legislation, with big tech, in holding them accountable for these gaming platforms. We're very involved with Roblox right now. There's no age verification. You can check off a box and say you're 18. Most of the other platforms as well.
Judge, President Trump, don't do this thing. Do not let Sean Combs out on appeal bond, contrary to the law, and do not consider a pardon. He is a convicted felon. He didn't win. We wait as justice unfolds. And we remember an American hero, Patrolman John Wilding, Scranton PD, just 29, killed in the line of duty. Leaves behind his grieving wife, Kristen, and 2 children, Lola and Sydney. American hero, Patrolman John Wilding. Thank you to our guests for being with us, but especially to you for being with us tonight and every night. Nancy Grace signing off. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, good night, friend. Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. If you're on the go, catch us on your favorite podcast app where you can get all of our content where we, in our own way, seek justice.